My name is Lucy, and I'm in my 40s now. This is a story about the biggest drama of my life, which happened decades ago but almost scarred me forever. It all began when I was 23 years old, in my senior year of college, living with my parents and sister. Life was cruising along, and I thought I had everything figured out. I was dating Luke, a charming guy with a heartwarming smile, and my best friend was none other than my neighbor, Amanda. We had been inseparable since we were in diapers, sharing countless memories and secrets. Luke's parents and my parents were friends since college, and they were really good friends with Amanda's parents too. It really felt like I was surrounded by love. Then, everything took a turn I never saw coming. Amanda dropped a bombshell on me when she said that she was pregnant. I was shocked and confused, not knowing who the father was. But to my surprise, Amanda was adamant about keeping the identity of the father a secret. It hit me like a tidal wave of emotions, and my mind filled with 1,000 questions. How could she keep something like this from me, her best friend? As the days turned into weeks, I watched Amanda wrestle with the weight of her secret. I wanted to support her, but the uncertainty gnawed at me. I couldn't help but wonder if I should press her for answers or give her the space she seemed to need. At the same time, my relationship with Luke also suffered under the strain of Amanda's secret. Doubts and insecurities crept into my mind, poisoning my trust in him. I found myself questioning everything, wondering if he knew more than he let on. Luke noticed the change in my behavior, but I couldn't bring myself to confide in him about Amanda's situation. Days turned into weeks, and the tension between Amanda and me grew. Our conversations became strained and superficial. I felt like I was losing her bit by bit, and it tore me apart. Still, I was determined to be there for Amanda every step of the way during her pregnancy. I knew that true friendship meant standing by her side through thick and thin. So I was going with her to the doctor's appointment, helping her set up the nursery, and providing a listening ear whenever she needed to talk. As the due date approached, Amanda's nervousness and excitement were palpable. We prepared for the big day together, sharing laughter and anticipation amid the anxiety. I felt a sense of pride knowing that I was there for her during such a significant moment in her life. Then came the day of childbirth, and everything changed. I was at Amanda's side, holding her hand and trying to soothe her as she endured the pain of labor. Finally, she gave birth to a beautiful girl. In that tense and emotional moment, Luke showed up unexpectedly. His sudden appearance caught me off guard, but what he said next shook me to the core. Luke confessed that he was the baby's father. The weight of his words crashed over me like a tidal wave, drowning me in disbelief and heartbreak. It was as if the world had flipped upside down. My mind raced with a mix of emotions, anger, betrayal, and sadness. How could Luke keep this from me all along? How could Amanda do this to our friendship? I tried my best to hold back the tears, but it was nearly impossible. At that moment, I had to face the painful truth. The people I trusted and loved had betrayed me in the worst way possible. I had lost not only my best friend, but also the person I thought I was going to spend my life with. After the birth, I decided that I needed a fresh start, a way to heal and rebuild my life away from the heartache. I made a life-changing decision to pursue another degree in a different state. It was a chance to distance myself from the painful reminders of what once was. I knew that cutting all contact with Amanda and Luke was necessary for my own healing. It wasn't an easy choice, but I needed the space and time to mend my broken heart. I left without saying goodbye, without explaining my reasons, and without looking back. In the new place, I threw myself into my studies and embraced the opportunity to rediscover who I was outside of those relationships. Over time, the pain began to ease and I started to heal. I made new friends, formed new bonds, and learned to trust again, although cautiously. Life has a strange way of leading us down unexpected paths. While I can't deny the hurt and heartache I experienced, I also recognize the resilience I gained through that journey. It may have been the biggest drama of my life, but it taught me invaluable lessons about the strength to move forward. Being away from home turned out to be a turning point in my life. I met George, and little did I know that he would become the love of my life. We hit it off instantly, and as time passed, our connection deepened. After a year of being together, we tied the knot and it felt like a dream come true. We had a really intimate wedding, and although my parents were invited, I made sure to let them know that Luke and Amanda were not. I didn't want to hear or see them in any way, and George supported that. Our marriage was filled with happiness, and we built a strong foundation based on love, trust, and understanding. George was my rock. We navigated life's ups and downs together, supporting each other every step of the way. With stable jobs after university, we found ourselves in a comfortable place financially. We decided to make the most of it by fulfilling our shared passion for travel. Exploring new places together became our favorite hobby. From breathtaking beaches to bustling cities, we soaked in the beauty of different cultures and landscapes. As a couple, we knew we didn't want children, and that decision brought us even closer. While others might question or pressure us about it, we stood firm in our choice, knowing that it was the right one for us. Our childless life allowed us the freedom to pursue our dreams and passion without the responsibilities of parenthood. We dedicated ourselves to each other and our relationship, and that brought us immense joy. Life was seemingly perfect, and for almost a decade, we basked in the happiness of our love. Of course, like any couple, we had our share of disagreements and challenges, but we always found a way to work through them. 10 long years after the day Amanda gave birth to Luke's child, my mom reached out to me, delivering unexpected news. Amanda wanted to reconnect with me. We had a lengthy conversation, and she told me that Amanda and Luke were still together. Part of me was in pain, but curiosity and nostalgia tugged at my heartstrings. Still, this brought back so much trauma to me. I wanted to say yes, but I couldn't do that to myself. I told my mom that I didn't want to talk to them still. My mom didn't take it well. She called me selfish, demanding that I reconcile with Amanda and Luke for the sake of the family. It turned out that while I was away, Luke's brother started dating my sister. It was a really small town, and everyone just knew each other like that. Since Luke's brother and my sister were planning their own marriage, Luke and I would soon become in-laws. It really felt like everyone in my past would be forever bonded with my family now. It was a heavy burden to bear. The pressure from my mom made me feel trapped between my emotions and my duty to keep the family harmony intact. In a moment of weakness, I gave in and agreed to reconnect with Amanda and Luke. I hoped that perhaps time had changed them and we could find a way to heal old wounds. But before I could fully commit to the idea, fate threw another curveball my way. I bumped into James, Amanda's ex-boyfriend in college. It was a strange coincidence, and we decided to grab a coffee and catch up. Over the course of our conversation, James revealed something that left me utterly shocked. He had gone no contact with Amanda for a while after their breakup, but he had always been burdened by the sadness of her pregnancy being terminated. I was shocked. She never aborted the pregnancy. James was adamant that the pregnancy was what broke them up. They were in love, but he didn't want to deal with the responsibility of a child, not at that age. The weight of that revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. I had been kept in the dark about so much back then, and it made me question everything once more. I told James that Amanda had never gone through with the abortion and she had given birth to a healthy baby. James was completely in shock. He didn't even know that Amanda was a mom. I realized that Amanda had been sleeping with both him and Luke around that time. Since James had run away from the responsibility, Amanda chose to frame it all on Luke. My emotions spiraled into chaos, torn between sympathy for James and disbelief at Amanda's actions. It was a bitter pill to swallow. We had all been manipulated and deceived, and the thought of reconnecting with Amanda and Luke now felt even more daunting. How could I trust them again after all the lies? I needed time to process everything. I told James that I needed to sort out my feelings before making any decisions. He understood and encouraged me to take all the time I needed. The truth had come to light, and it was time to confront the past with a newfound sense of strength and clarity. I picked up the phone to call my mom, telling her that I had agreed to reconnect with Luke and Amanda at the upcoming family gathering. Everyone would be there: Luke's family, Amanda's parents, and of course, Amanda's daughter. I started to plan what was going to happen. As the day of the family gathering approached, I wrestled with conflicting emotions. Meeting Amanda after all those years was nerve-wracking, but I wanted to confront her face to face and seek closure. To bolster my resolve, I secretly asked James to accompany me, and he agreed. He wanted to confront Amanda himself. When the day arrived, the tension in the air was palpable as everyone gathered. I could sense the discomfort and unease among us all. The weight of our shared history hung heavily over the room. That was when James and I walked in. As Amanda's eyes met James's, panic flashed across her face.
James, I didn't expect to see you here.
Well, here I am. It's time we had a serious talk, Amanda. You can't run from this any longer.
I don't know what you're talking about. Can't we just forget the past and move on?
No, Amanda. We can't move on until we address the truth. I just found out something shocking, something that changes everything.
I don't know what you're talking about, and why are you even involving yourself in my life after all these years?
Everyone was taken aback, and Luke approached Amanda to hold her, but James wasn't intimidated.
Because you lied to me, Amanda. You made me believe that you had an abortion and that we had no future together, but that was all a lie, wasn't it?
I don't want to talk about this now. It's in the past.
Amanda started to turn away. It seemed like she just wanted to be out of that room. James gently held her by the arm, holding her back. Luke was almost getting defensive, but then he heard the truth coming out of James's mouth.
No, Amanda. It's time for the truth to come out. I just learned that you gave birth to a baby, our baby, and I never even knew. How could you keep something like that from me? Wait, what did you say?
I don't know what you're talking about. Let me go. Let me go.
Amanda ran her way upstairs, locking herself in the bedroom. Everyone was perplexed. Then they turned their attention to me as if to wonder if I was in all of this mess. It was a difficult and emotional confrontation. James and I sat down to explain the situation to them. I urged them to talk to Amanda and let the child take a paternity test to reveal the truth once and for all. After hours of knocking on Amanda's door, she stubbornly refused, digging her heels into her web of lies. Her reluctance only strengthened James's belief in what he had suspected all along. With emotions running high, the truth couldn't be hidden any longer. Luke and Amanda's marriage began to crumble under the weight of the revelations. In the end, they decided to get a divorce, severing the last thread that bound them together. As the test came back, it turned out that the girl was indeed James's child. It was heartbreaking to see the look on Luke's face when the results was turned in. James and Luke sat down with each other to talk through everything just to make sure their child has the best support from both sides. Despite the chaos and heartache, Luke was still granted custody of the child as Amanda was too unstable to take care of anyone but herself after what happened. George and I still visited Luke often, offering support with bringing up Amanda's child. Luke profusely apologized to me so many times about what happened to us in college. It was forever ago and I had George now, so I agreed to forgive him. Plus, the child was innocent. She deserved the best things growing up because she didn't do anything wrong. Luckily, James was also present in her life. He would pick her up during the weekends just to take her to parks and spend time with her. It was an arrangement that worked for all of us. In stark contrast, Amanda's life took a downward spiral. For starters, she never apologized for anything she did. It also seemed like she didn't even care about her own child's well-being because Amanda never even asked about her. The consequences of her actions caught up with her, leaving her in a state of isolation. I couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness for her, but I also knew that I needed to prioritize my own well-being and the happiness of the child who had been caught in the midst of the chaos. As the years passed, the wounds began to heal. Though the scars remained, the journey wasn't easy, but it taught me invaluable lessons about the resilience of the human spirit. Despite the darkness of the past, I found myself in moving forward, cherishing the present and building a better future for myself and my loved ones.